So we're on our way to Portola Valley, California, the Littlefield Collection, about 30 miles south of San Francisco. I've been coming here about 13 years, giving tours as a volunteer, and I would say it is the best collection of armored vehicles in the world.
This collection meant a lot. He was very, very passionate about it. My father had an amazing team of people who helped him do the restorations. And then when he passed away, my brothers and I kind of became in charge.
He sought out different vehicles for a reason, I feel like. It's kind of like his legacy in one way. It's definitely recognized as one of the nicest collections of its type in the world.
Jacques got to the point where he was actually importing into the United States about 1 tank a week, every week, for several years. The collection was getting quite large. He found this particular tank and was able to bring it into the US, and it's the only one that we're aware of is in the Western Hemisphere.
The tank was an achievement by Australia for what they managed to do with what they had. It really is very significant. Sentinel is a bit of an enigma. There's enough information out there that you think you know a little bit, but outside of some photographs that are very famously found on the internet, there isn't very much.
This particular tank actually is going to be of interest to a lot of people because it's unusual, it's rare, and it's got a wonderful opportunity to go to another location where it would otherwise not be seen.
So Wargaming has acquired this rare piece of World War II history and are sending the Sentinel back home to Australia to be renovated and to be made available to the public. Welcome to Cairns in Queensland. We're at the Australian Armour and Artillery Museum. I'm Nicholas Bourne, and this is my British counterpart, Richard Cutland.
Thank you very much, Nick. Fantastic to be here. Certainly happy to have left the rain and the drizzle of the UK to come to this glorious country. And what a setting, Nick.
We got a drought going on in California. It's all brown, so I'm here with lovely, lush green rainforests.
Absolutely stunning. And the reason we're here, one specific purpose only, to welcome a very new addition to the museum, of course.
Yeah, it is something of a rare endangered species. It's the Australian Cruiser Mark I, commonly known as Sentinel.
So here it is, Nick, our Sentinel in all its glory.
Yes, all right, so let's figure out now, how did the Australians get from nothing to this? I mean, it looks like no other tank that's out there.
Well, don't forget, in 1940, the Australian Army, a lot of them were committed elsewhere and support the Commonwealth troops. But also, of course, we had the threat from the Pacific.
Japanese.
Australians decided, that's the British.
Mr. Churchill, can we have some of your tanks, please?
And of course, at the time, we were
hard up for them.
Yeah, post-Dunkirk, turning out cruisers at approximately 1 a day. So it was a busy period, certainly for the British.
So you have to start your design from scratch.
And the resources were low, so how do we make a tank from what we've got?
The gun, the armour and the engine are a triangle of what makes a tank design, none of which the Aussies had any experience in whatsoever.
Indeed.
The other signature feature really is the cast hull. The first single-piece cast hull. Now, the axle housing was a different component, but nobody had ever really done this before.
Yeah, so I was thinking, the strength of that must have been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, no joins, no weak points, anything else like that.
So overall, you could say the Sentinel, it was a hybrid tank.
Oh yeah, multinational
effort.
British gun, Australian transmission, American engine, French running gear.
But what a great achievement. For a country that's never produced a tank before, to come up with, which, to be fair, was a very
good
vehicle.
idea. Yeah. Right, so let's have a look at the history of this particular vehicle.
Like many tanks, actually, it was demilitarised. So the turret on this particular one was removed and it became an agricultural tractor, which was good news, really, because it meant that the transmission and the running gear was kept in an operational condition.
You can imagine what it's like to be a tractor owner. It's kind of like, you got a Ford, you got a John Deere, I got a tank.
When in its life as a tractor, unfortunately, the driver's vision block was removed, the armoured visor, so that's no longer there.
Together with the commander's hat.
Which is also missing at the moment.
So after the end of the career as an agricultural tractor, it was acquired by Mr. John Belfield, who had the Melbourne Tank Museum down south. And first thing he wants to do is he wants to make this thing look like a tank again.
Indeed, so the first thing he has to do is find a turret from somewhere, and something we've just only found out very recently actually about this particular turret
is the number. So if you look at the side of an AC1, it has the engraving on the side that says this was tank number blank, which was hull number X and turret number Y. And similarly on the turret, there is the same thing. So this turret says this came from tank number 8040, which is hull 31 and turret 56. Well, if you wander over to the Sentinel that's back behind us over there, that was hull number 31 that was supposed to come with turret number 56.
Which, an amazing coincidence. I mean, to be fair, 60-something produced, and we've now managed to match up, the two tanks.
So by 2005, Mr. Belfield's getting on in years. He's in his 70s, and I guess, well, keeping a tank collection kind of takes it out of you. So he puts it up for sale, and Mr. Jacques Littlefield decides he's going to buy it.
The very famous Mr. Jacques Littlefield.
Awesome collection. I'm so glad I was able to bring you over to check it out before.
That was incredible. Absolutely incredible private collection.
So 2006, he acquires it. This shows up in California, and they're going, well, what on earth is this? Because it's so rare.
So unfortunately, Mr. Littlefield passed away in 2009, so it was decided to put some of his collection up for auction.
At which point, Wargaming acquired it, and
in 2014,
yeah, we decided that we were going to bring it home.
And the rest is history.
Now that the Sentinel has arrived and been inspected, the next step is to restore the tank so it resembles its original state. The driver's visor and commander's hatch were lost during the Sentinel's extended adventures and needs to be recreated before the tank can be sent off for painting. These pieces will be made here at the Australian Armour and Artillery Museum's on-site workshop, which is equipped to deal with this type of metalwork.
As the tank's hatch doors were missing, we had to replicate one. We took measurements and cut the hatch out of a 12mm steel plate. We make new hatches for the Sentinel, and I'm going to fit it onto the turret and weld it into place. We also create a new vision block for the driver, and I weld it in as well.
For the next and final stage of this restoration, the tank must be safely transported to luxury yacht refinishers. Sandblasting is a lengthy process. All rust, dirt and dust is stripped away so as to expose the base metal. Primer is not only important as a foundation for the camouflage paint, but it also helps to prevent rust from taking hold in the future. This Sentinel's cannon was demilitarized by spiking with explosives before arriving in the museum, resulting in the barrel needing extra care and attention. In combat, camouflage can save your life by making it harder to be noticed by hostile forces. In a museum, however, its primary purpose is to look good. Now the restoration is complete, the Sentinel is ready to proudly take its place in the museum, representing the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the Australian people.
Wargaming is passionate about history. We work with museums and non-profits around the world to make sure that the vehicles of World War II are preserved for future generations. There are only 7 Australian cruisers left in the world, which makes them incredibly rare. So we are very excited to bring this Sentinel tank back to its home in Australia, where she was built, so that Australians can rediscover this important piece of their country's World War II heritage.